All right, spark or spike suit tutorial. All right, so spark suit. Okay, so this is typically when you're going to be doing spark suit. It's spark or spike suit. It's whatever you're damage boosting off of. Right, so I was looking up the frames because there's 2 frames. Okay, so this is from Overfiend. He's another Super Metroid speedrunner. He's posted a pretty good like details about it and stuff. Let me read through this real quick. Oh, Reeve explained. Okay, one second. All right, spark suit. This is what it is. Not that. Hold on. But I'm gonna explain what just happened wrong. Don't worry. Actually, let me do it over here. Probably a little bit easier to see. All right. So you've probably seen speedrunners do this kind of stuff, and you wonder to yourself, how the heck did they do that? And then you'll see them running. They won't get a spark. They won't get nothing, and all of a sudden they'll shine spark. That is because with spark suit or spike suit, you store yourself a shine spark. So what we do in the speedrun is we try to get this so we can then hold run instead of blue suit where you can't hold run. If you press run with blue suit, you lose it. With spike suit or spark suit, you get to run with it. You get to store it, you get to do anything you want. You just gotta be careful, or else if you press the wrong button, you'll accidentally shine spark. So basically it's just a means of storing the shine spark while still being able to run. And yeah, that's the general gist of it. Now, how do you do it? Well, there are... Okay, let me just explain in general, like a flat out statement. It's not going to necessarily be true, but then I will correct it afterwards just to kind of make it easier to understand at first. So what you do is you activate your shine spark. If you don't have shine spark and you're here, you can, get a charge with a short charge and then try. You activate, then you jump and morph. You need to be morphed while you do it, because what you're going to do is the frame. Now, like I said, this is incorrect to a degree, but I'm just going to explain it like this, and then I will correct it afterwards. The frame you take damage, you press jump or up to on morph. Both work. I press jump. Unless you have spring ball, you need to press up. So here, I press jump, and then 8 frames after your first press, you press jump again. Now, you might be wondering, why is it 8 frames after the first initial, you take damage, and then you just get it. I'll explain why that failed. Don't worry. Because what's happening is, let me slow this way down. Okay, I think this should work. So I'm gonna on-morph the frame I'm taking damage right there. So I take damage. I press A to on-morph. Now, that should be the right frame. Samus is on-morphing. Now, Samus, I think this frame works. Don't hold me to this if I'm wrong. Samus is now crouching, and this is the frame that works. This crouch animation, for some reason, allows you to then press jump again, and then it allows you to store this shine spark. I don't understand how it works, so I press jump, and then, what do you know? I failed it. Now let me explain why I failed it. Not yet, actually. Hold on. There's one reason why I failed this, and why speedrunners will fail this trick. Okay, so I take damage. I'm on morphing. Now, this should work. If it doesn't, okay. This is what we're looking for. So 8 frames after you take damage initially. is how it works. But let me show you how it works, or how it's supposed to work. Let me see if I can actually do it. Okay. All right. So you remember how I said that there's a discrepancy? This is the discrepancy that I was talking about. So normally when you're doing this trick, you do the unmorph, you unmorph, and then 8 frames later, you press jump again. So it's like the rhythm is tap tap. Every frame is 16.6 milliseconds or so, and it is 8 frames if you unmorphed correctly after taking damage. So it's like tap tap. So I just kind of got a rhythm in my head, so when I see I'm gonna unmorph, tap tap, tap tap, and then you know, if you get good, you can do it over and over. So essentially, without the discrepancy that I was talking about, it's a double frame perfect trick. But it's not too bad once you get used to it. Okay, so let me explain the discrepancy. So in this game, the first frame you take damage, or in this game, with this trick, let me set it up. Save. Okay. The first frame you take damage, if you unmorph on that frame, what happens is you have 2 frames to press afterwards. I believe the frames are 7 and 8. It could be 8 and 9, but I believe it's 7 and 8. So, if you accidentally unmorph on the exact frame you take damage, what happens is you can shine spark upwards or wherever, and you think you get it for a second, and then it fails. Now, let me show exactly what that is again so you can see it. That's the first frame I take damage. And then I shine spark upwards. Because you think you get it for a second, because it almost works, and then you fail it. You go, darn it, I have to try again, and then you have to set it back up if you're, you know, and then bam, I got it. Okay, perfect. So, what you have to do when that happens, but obviously you can't time it because 16 milliseconds can't really be timed. You just need to grind this trick out a ton. If you get in the hang of it, it's not the first frame that you are crouched, it's the second frame. This frame works if you unmorph the first frame you take damage. I know this is a lot, and it's a fast-running game, so it's hard to determine. What you want to try to aim to do is just grind the trick out to where you see yourself about to take damage, and then right after you take damage is when you're going to be unmorphing. And like I said, it's really difficult because it's real time. And then this one works every time. You only have 1 frame to press if you unmorph on the second frame of damage taking. Let me see if there's 2 crouch animations. 1, 2. Yeah, so the second crouch animation doesn't work on that one. But the second crouch animation of this. So here's the first crouch. And the second crouch. This one works. And if you unmorph on the first frame, this one, the first frame, fails. Okay. Now, if you unmorph, unmorph the second frame of damage, 1, 2, unmorph, you only have 1 crouch animation where you can press it, or 1 crouch. So it's kind of tricky because the timings are going to be different. Because if you get in the bad habit of pressing it on the frame that you take damage, you're going to always have to try to get this second frame of crouching, which is going to throw you off if you get the second frame of damage. So it's pretty important to try to just be consistent with the trick. I mean, I'll fail it a lot, and I'll accidentally morph, or accidentally shine spark upwards. So You just gotta focus on trying to take damage. Or trying to unmorph the second frame you take damage, which is really hard. I know. So, this is how I practiced it. I didn't go into slow-mo and figure it out like this at all. What I did was real time. So this was kind of like how I practiced. I had blue suit on. And I would just sit here in Dragon's Lair and do this over and over. So just practice the on-morph. And that's something you can do, is just practice the on-morph animation. Just on-morph. Watch the top left of my screen, and you'll see in real time how fast it actually is, my A presses, my jumps. So 8 frames is not a lot of time. Tap tap. So I don't know if you can hear it, like kind of like this. Just like this. Just like that. I think my record for doing this over and over is like 8. On the top one. So you can just sit here and practice it. Once you get it, you can just practice without having to press down here. Now, there's probably a couple questions that you have. Why does it only work on sparks and spikes? The reason it works on these is because the iframes are much less on spikes and sparks. There's less iframes. Right. It's the knockback frames. Right, okay. So only these things, you get the right knockback frames when you are hitting things which also, you know, coincidentally only give you a small amount of iframes, I guess. But yeah, the knockback frames is what does it. Because I guess it gives you that crouching animation. Spikes give 10 iframe. Wait, what? Oh, all knockback frames. Spikes give 10 knockback frames. Enemies give 5 knockback frames, and projectiles give 4. Okay, and that's why it's harder to damage boost off of projectiles and stuff. Like these things, it's super easy to damage boost off all this. Now, once you get it, you need to be careful because you basically have a shine spark like, at all times. So if you jump and you press up or shoot, no, you can press shoot. It's just scary. You just can't press up while you're jumping. What you'll see speedrunners do if they don't do this one in 100%, they'll do the one at Kraid's Lair, and they try to keep it all the way from grapple beam or Kraid all the way to X-ray, which is pretty difficult. It saves about 4 seconds. But with this one, what we do is we just use it to run. It saves us about... Wait, what did I say? A Crocomire. Right, yeah, sorry. Kraid, Croc. Yeah. We use it just for this. We can run. It saves a couple seconds. We don't hold this one all the way to X-ray, but we go from Croc, Grapple, and then all the way back up to X-ray with it. How much time do you have to get it after the Croc fight? I mean, I can show the Croc fight real quick, since we're doing this. So in 100%, you're going to see this done a lot. Okay. It's kind of hard to answer how much time do we have after Croc, because not everyone's going to do this strat. So what you can do is you get some good run speed here. Hold spring ball over Croc's head and try to like arm pump over here and get here as fast as possible, because then it knocks you back after a certain amount of time. You need to be quick. Don't go any further than the platform that Croc falls on. You can go about right here. That's about it. And then technically Samus is off screen, so you wiggle Samus back on screen. And you have about this much time. That's how much time you got when the music starts again. So it gives you about a few attempts to try to get Spark Suit. We got it, so now we have to keep Spark Suit all the way from here all the way to X-Ray. You go grab Grapple, you get down here, and then we're almost at X-Ray. We held it all the way here without pressing R up, except right there. Whoops. Whoops. I'm pressing the wrong button. No, it's L. And then we shine Spark all the way across here. It's a pretty hard trick. In an actual run, you're pretty focused here, and you're really trying hard not to lose it, so it's not so bad. Yeah. That is the Spark Suit. Bike suit. Good luck.